Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is D Flawless, and welcome back to Flawless Reads the TWAB. This week at Bungie, February 3rd, 2022, written by DMG. Let's get into it. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on this week's TWAB. This week at Bungie, we've got a lot going on. Hello and welcome to another installment of This Week at Bungie, our weekly source of news and chatter from around the studio. Nothing too wild happened this week, right? Just your normal Monday morning announcements of Bungie joins Sony Interactive Entertainment. Well, okay, this is kind of a big deal. If you haven't heard much about it, well, we've joined Sony Interactive Entertainment. There's a lot to unpack here, and we highly recommend reading through our announcement article from Bungie CEO Pete Parsons and our Destiny 2, Our Shared Vision article from the development team. Yeah, that was huge news that happened. Bungie joining Sony. I like the usage of the word joining. In the realm of Destiny 2, we don't expect you to notice much of a change in your day-to-day adventures as a Guardian. We aren't going to make Destiny 2 platform exclusive. We're committed to a Destiny that you can play on your platform of choice and that has the same great game experience regardless of what device you are using. We're going to continue developing amazing new worlds for multiple platforms, and we're more than excited about what potential this unlocks for us. If you haven't read the FAQ in our update from the dev team, please do so. So, with that said, what else is going on? Well, it's February for starters. We're less than 3 weeks away from the launch of the Witch Queen. Did you see that we hit 1 million pre-orders? Did you hear that, Savathun? 1 million Guardians would like a word. Yeah, I'd like a word with Savathun. Props to Bungie for hitting 1 million pre-orders for Witch Queen. That's crazy. We also had a Kick A Gear trailer go live on Tuesday. Have you seen it yet? Well, even if you have, we're going to embed the video right here for you to go through the carnage frame by frame, hunting for new info. You can check the reaction video. It's up on the YouTube right now. It's probably linked, it's the video right before this one. Just check it out. We react to it live. You may have noticed there was a quick little glimpse into weapon crafting at the top of that video. Well, let's take a moment to walk through it. No, not just the video, but crafting as a feature. After, we'll follow the TWAB tradition of digging into the nitty-gritty of sandbox balance patch notes in a quick preview. Just kidding. This TWAB is already over 6,000 words. Nothing about it is quick. Let's dig in. Welcome back to the Enclave. All right, we're going to dive into some weapon crafting. Savathun is building an army of Hive. These aren't just ordinary Hive, mind you. They've become the Lucent Brood. How could this happen? What will the Vanguard do as we begin to question the line between light and dark? As you begin to unravel the mystery and battle the Witch Queen brood, you'll discover the Enclave. This will be your destination for weapon crafting. Crafting a legendary weapon from scratch isn't a simple matter. Finding patterns, think weapon blueprints. Collecting materials and building your weapon is the starting point. After crafting your tool of destruction, you'll begin to unlock its full potential through combat, beginning your quest to craft. Early in the Witch Queen campaign, you'll be given an introductory quest that runs you through the ins and outs of crafting. In the first and second missions of the Witch Queen, free to all players, Guardians will uncover the Deep Sight ability and be introduced to the Enclave. That's cool, so we'll be crafting right away. Look at this. This is a picture of the Enclave here. Let's grab that. That might be our thumbnail. Looks pretty cool. Like a big template of stuff. This is where you'll begin to shape your first glaive, a brand new weapon archetype being introduced in the Witch Queen. All the necessary materials will be provided for your first crafted weapon, but you'll also be given a short tutorial on how to find those materials for future crafting. A subset of weapons and archetypes will be craftable from the start, but more will be added in the future. Ooh-wee! This is going to be so cool. I have a feeling we're going to spend a lot of time crafting the perfect weapon. What do you say? In order to shape your future tools of destruction, you'll need to do a little bit of research first. Patterns are your first requirement. Some will be acquired through quest completions, while others can be earned by completing various gameplay objectives. Once you've earned your desired pattern, It can be crafted at any time with the required materials. Now, it's all about the mixings. So let's take a look at this here. So we have a shaped weapon, Come to Pass. It's an auto rifle. It's a solar primary weapon. Solar. So it looks like it's a, what's that archetype? Impact. And it looks like they have these available perks to craft on it. I'm guessing this is a material that's going to be used to craft it. 1550 power, rounds per mag is a 360 round per minute. That's cool. It's kind of an inside look. And I guess you craft it once you set all that up. After reaching the Enclave and crafting your first glaive, randomly rolled weapons throughout the game have a chance to drop with a new ability, Deep Sight Resonance. Deep Sight Resonance. This will be used as you begin to target specific traits to craft. As an example, if you find a Deep Sight Resonance legendary auto rifle with the Rampage perk, you can complete an objective to extract the essence of the perk to then craft a weapon with Rampage or another perk that increases damage. That's freaking cool. Yo, Stash, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. My name is D Flawless. We're going over the TWAB right now. So the way it works is you're going to get randomly rolled weapons that drop, and they have a chance to have the Deep Sight Resonance ability. And if it has that ability, you can extract a perk that's on it. So you have to randomly roll the perk that you're looking for on the weapon, and it has to have Deep Sight Resonance. So there's the grind. It's not like everybody's just gonna have God rolls week one. That's pretty cool. I kind of dig that. I dig that a lot. A Guardian holding Deep Sight Resonance weaponry, noted by the red borders. Okay, so it'll have a red border. Here, let's grab that. There's a Forensic Nightmare. Deep Sight Resonance. This weapon possesses a resonance detectable by your Deep Sight ability. Use this weapon in combat or to complete activities in order to attune this resonance and extract materials useful for shaping weapons. So I imagine if you got this to drop, it has Headstone. Once you attune it, you can extract Headstone for the Forensic Nightmare submachine gun, and you'd be able to put Headstone on future submachine guns. Wow, super cool. Extract resonant elements from this weapon. Pictured, a Deep Sight resonant weapons with full progress essence ready to be extracted. Like current weapons, not every weapon pattern will be compatible with every trait, but you'll have a good list of traits to mix and match as you customize a given weapon to your desired specifications. It doesn't stop there though. Through the Enclave, you'll also be able to kick things up a notch and enhance your traits to strengthen their flavor. Leveling your weapon and enhance traits. Once a weapon is crafted, Guardians may begin to increase its level by using it in activities and by defeating enemies. This is where the bulk of your crafting playtime will be. The more you use your weapon, the faster you'll unlock its full potential. Enhanced stats and traits can be unlocked when reaching higher levels, granting slight bonuses to your weapon's capabilities. Our goal through this system is to give players a reason to invest in their weapons, far beyond what masterworking could offer in the past. Each weapon can now act as a long-tail pursuit as you look to make your freshly crafted weapon the best it can be. I'm digging the direction that it's going so far. Requires weapon level 7. So you got to up your weapon level if you want to get certain abilities, I'm guessing. Slow firing, high damage. That's pretty cool. It can be intimidating to start making decisions on how to build your weapon. So we're also giving you the ability to reshape your crafted weapons in the Enclave if you want to mix up the components of your weapon after you finish crafting them. You can switch up what barrel, mags, or traits you choose so you don't feel like you got locked down one path forever. You can shape and then reshape. That's cool. As Guardians begin to embrace this new system, you'll begin to see new legends arise. Some will prefer Hake and other foundries. Others may dabble in new weapons from Redacted. We're excited to see which weapons you embrace. Mementos. While the majority of your crafting experience will be dedicated to mixing, matching, and enhancing traits, there is also an opportunity for a bit of customization when it comes to appearances and activity-specific trackers. At launch, one weapon memento will become available for players to earn through Gambit, unlocking a Gambit theme, appearance, and tracker. Rank up your weapon to max level, head back to the Enclave, and apply your freshly earned memento for some sweet flair. More of these will come online through Trials of Osiris and Grandmaster Nightfalls. We have more plans for mementos down the line and are excited to introduce a new in-game rarity cosmetic items for players to chase as they build out their new arsenal of weaponry. Gambit? Why Gambit? Exotic crafting? Legendary weapons aren't the only thing that you'll be able to craft. The upcoming Osteo Striga exotic SMG and 3 class unique exotic glaives can also be crafted through the Enclave once you find their respective patterns, of course. Yeah, we gotta save that. While legendary weapons can be crafted from the ground up, exotic crafting is more about fine-tuning something with a defined identity. You may have the opportunity to customize things like barrels and stocks while preserving the exotic look and feel. Looking for a longer range profile for the weapon or opting to shred through your enemies up close and personal? Through the Enclave, you can do just that. All right, folks, we're at the end of our weapon crafting preview. Will you have questions? Undoubtedly. Launch day of the Witch Queen is just around the corner, and we're excited to see what weapons you create. Don't worry, we aren't done with the TWAB just yet. We still have some exciting news regarding weapons to cover. Let's talk tuning. Holy cow, already. Exotic crafting. I like the direction they're taking the weapon crafting system. Very good stuff so far. Tuning up, tuning down, tuning all around. Crafting is going to introduce an entirely new way to invest in a given weapon. When hunting for your new favorites, it's not just about the looks, it's about the feels. Weapons feature lead Chris Proctor is on deck to walk through some changes coming to weapons, perks, and archetypes in the Witch Queen. The team has been hard at work over the last few months to bring this to life, and we've got a lot to cover. If you're new to the Destiny sandbox or aren't too deep in the terminology and know-how, this can be a lot to process at first glance. While we know a few of our sandbox-minded community members will break this down through YouTube videos and write-ups, there's no shame in skimming this. Sandbox is about the feel, and you'll be getting your hands on these changes when the Witch Queen launches. If you're brave enough to take on the challenge of reading this in full, take it slow. Grab some water, maybe a little snack. All right, let's get to it. Take it away, Proctor. Let's go through it. We're not scared. You see Dylan trying to scare us off of this? We're not scared. From Pinnacle to Pursuit weapons. When Pinnacle weapons were introduced, they were tuned and presented as being best-in-class weapons to act as rewards for players dedicated to a particular activity. They excited and motivated players, but were expensive to build for legendary weapons and had some undesirable side effects such as PvP, Pinnacle weapons becoming mandatory in PvE, Recluse Mountaintop, or becoming incredibly unpleasant to play against, or so strong that no other weapons in the class could compete in PvP, Mountaintop not forgotten. When we moved away from Pinnacle weapons, we didn't go into much detail, so we'd like to take a moment to clarify the move and also introduce the Pursuit weapon for next season. The intent as of Season 12 is that a Pursuit weapon should be a solid weapon, roughly 70% of a god roll in its archetype, with perk options that work well in PvP and PvE, and which can be reliably obtained without a huge grind. These should act as good starter weapons for both PvP and PvE, while leaving space for weapons from Pinnacle activities like Trials, Raids, and Nightfalls to exceed this potential. We generally ship a similar weapon with higher potential in the same season. Note, Salvager Salvo basically ignores the guideline, oops, but we really wanted to put Chain Reaction on a special ammo weapon and don't currently see a reason to touch it. Chain Reaction is going to be rare on special weapons though. There you go. I was just thinking that and he talked about it. Here's a quick breakdown of how each Pursuit weapon since Season 12 compares to the random rolled options currently in the game. Adored is a good sniper rifle, but better sniper rifles shipped alongside it or since. The Salvager Salvo Breach Grenade Launcher is a good room clearing weapon, but doesn't have the utility of blinding grenades or auto-loading holster, so other legendary grenade launchers such as Truth Teller or Ignition Code often take its place in the hardest content. Null Composure is an excellent fusion rifle, and even more so in the season after its shift and brought back the Reservoir Burst perk, but Plug 1 and Glacial Chasm can get Reservoir Burst, and Cartesian Coordinate has better options for DPS. The Ascendancy Rocket Launcher brought back the Explosive Light perk, but Hothead can also get this, and it has other good perk options. And with that, let's look at the Reckless Endangerment Pursuit Shotgun. Holy moly, look at this beauty. This weapon is coming in Season 16 and introduces the new Steady Hands perk for a massive handling boost after a kill plus Snapshot. There are several other shotguns in the release with more sought after PvP and PvE perks. Look at this. Ooh-wee! Beautiful. The Reckless Endangerment. Origin traits. We've been talking about the difficulty of making different weapons of the same type feel unique for years at this point, and in Witch Queen, we're doing something about it. Every weapon that's new or returning in the Witch Queen will have an origin trait determined by its source in a third trait column, including all new legendary weapons and all returning Trials, Iron Banner, and Nightfall weapons. Origin traits will only appear on new drops of a weapon. They won't be retroactively added to old drops. These traits vary in effect, but the guideline is that they either have high uptime and medium power effects or low uptime and high power. There are 14 origin traits in total shipping in the Witch Queen in Season 16, and we expect to ship around 3 new ones each season after Season 16. For example, one for Season 17, one for the raid or dungeon, and one for the seasonal event until we have one for each event. When we refresh old weapons from a given source, for example, an existing raid or old pool of seasonal weapons, we may create a new origin trait at the same time. Here's some examples. Trials of Osiris. Alacrity. You're going to gain increased reload, stability, aim assist, and range when you are the last living member of your fire team or running solo. Oh, so if you queue up solo, you get a perk. You get a perk bonus, which gives you plus 20 reload, plus 20 stability, aim assist, plus 10 range. Solo includes solo lost sectors or rumble, for example. That's cool. Nightfall Strikes. Stunning recovery. Stunning a champion partially refills your magazine, triggers health regeneration, and improves recovery for a short duration. Grants 60 health instantly and plus 40 recovery for 3 seconds. That's major. This is so cool. So you're going to be rewarded for playing certain activities, and the weapons that drop from those activities will have special perks that increase your benefits inside said activity. Crucible, One Quiet Moment. Grants increased reload speed when out of combat. Plus 40 reload stat when out of combat. Haven't dealt or received damage in 4 seconds. Strikes, Vanguard's Vindication. Final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of health. 7 health. And they tell you exactly what small means. Anytime it makes sense due to the source activity, a weapon will have multiple origin traits selectable. For example, Nightfall weapons can select between Nightfall and Vanguard traits. Trials of Osiris weapons can select between Trials and Crucible traits. And the Pursuit weapon can select between the Gambit, Vanguard, and Crucible traits since it can be acquired from any of these activities. Wow, origin traits. That's going to be huge. That's going to be the new must-have. Must-have the origin trait, right? Well, maybe not a must-have. It's just a nice-to-have. Retroactive would not be great because that would eliminate the need to grind for it and eliminate the need to play the game, which is counterintuitive for Bungie. I disagree with that talk and teach. If you just make every new thing retroactive, then you eliminate the need to play the game. Weapon foundries. Guardian. There was something I wanted to tell you. What was it? Banshee scratches his forehead. Oh yeah, guns. I was cleaning out that locker back there. Banshee motions to a dust-caked storage container. Found a couple things you might be interested in. The Exo reaches into a crate next to him and pulls out a glistening Fugue 55 sniper rifle. A stack of shiny new Suros weapons manufactured for the Red War by the looks of them. He peers down the sights of the rifle. Been years since I held a new Suros. Good balance, solid craftsmanship. This is darn fine work. Banshee stares off wispily, seemingly to forget you're there. His eyes snap back to you. What was I going to tell you? All right, guns. Banshee uncrates more weapons in mint condition. These were earmarked for Zavala, Drifter, and Shax. Maybe if you're lucky, they'll let you play with them. There's a lot more where that came from. Banshee gestures to a whole stack of crates swimming in a cloud of dust. Hand cannons, pulse rifles, Amalon, hockey, Vice. You're going to have a ball. In Season 16, we're replacing the old world loot pool with 12 new weapons in the style of the Destiny 2 Year 1 Foundry weapon set. 3 weapons, each from the Suros, Amalon, Hockey, and Vice Foundries, plus 1 Foundry weapon for each Vanguard, Gambit, and Crucible. Holy smokes. They're bringing the heat with this TWAB. New Suros Sniper, a Suros hand cannon, Amalon that looks like an auto rifle, a Hockey shotgun, a Hockey pulse. No sidearm, True Vanguard's going to be upset. Bungie is not playing with this TWAB. Each weapon will come with a Foundry origin trait themed around the Foundry's personality. Suros Energy, reloading grants the weapon bonus handling and reduces incoming flinch for a short time. Plus 40 handling, 20% flinch resistance for 6 seconds after reloading. Hockey has a Hockey Breach Armaments. This weapon deals increased damage against vehicles, turrets, barricades, and stasis crystals. Turrets include stasis turrets, 15% to vehicles, 30% to structures and turrets. Amalon Fluid Dynamics. This weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. Oh, so if you get an Amalon weapon with what's the perk for the bottom half? Under pressure? Is it under pressure? You have almost a perfectly stable weapon. Stability max plus 20, reload max plus 30, reduces as the magazine gets slower. Vice Stinger, chance on damage to partially refill this weapon's magazine. That's cool. In addition, but wait, there's more. In addition to the Foundry origin trait, each Foundry weapons perk pool leans into that Foundry's identity. Big damage for Hockey, consistency for Suros, ability tie-ins, and weird stuff for Amalon. Never stop firing for Vice. Oh, there we go. Is that a hand cannon, or that looks like another hand cannon? Still no sidearm for True Vanguard. Look at these weapons. Looks like a slug shotgun. Looks like what is that? A pulse rifle, auto rifle, Hockey auto, and another hand cannon. Foundry weapons that drop from a source aside from the Whirlpool can switch between the Foundry trait and that source's trait. This doesn't imply that Foundry weapons will be common outside the Whirlpool. For example, a roll on the new Gambit Hockey high impact auto rifle, Herod C, might look like this. Corkscrew rifle / polygonal rifling, armor piercing / flared, perpetual motion focus fire, invader tracker, Hockey breach armaments, kill tracker range masterwork. We know we haven't brought back all your favorite Foundry weapons, but don't worry, you can expect to see weapon foundries receive new additions each season for the year following the Witch Queen, with some fun surprises thrown in later in the year. Global. All right, this is where some fun begins. The rest of this section will be more of a patch notes preview feel. Lots of bullets, not a lot of pictures. Still have that snack and water handy. Feel free to take a moment and get a refill. And let's take a sip of our beverage here. All right, it's not water. I'll drink water later. This TWAB is awesome. So far, this TWAB is 10 out of 10. What do you say, chat? Kill trackers were once one reason to masterwork a weapon, but we now see no reason to gate these behind masterworking. They'll be present by default on all weapons that shipped in Forsaken and later. Exotic weapons prior to Forsaken will be updated in a later release. Yes, this means masterworking should no longer be seen as mandatory, and we expect the plus 10 to a weapon stat or plus 10 to a primary stat, plus 3 to other stats for adepts to only matter to dedicated PvP players. We have no specific plans for changes to masterworking at this stage, but we'll revisit it later. Note that we did discuss gating the origin trait behind masterworking, but ultimately this wouldn't have achieved the goal of weapon differentiation for non-masterwork weapons. Following in the armor team's footsteps, weapon mods for legendary weapons are now free and instant to insert. We believe that many pain points around special weapons in Crucible are exacerbated by how easy it currently is to acquire special ammo. And while we've touched this in the past, we're making a further adjustment now. Players now drop 1 special ammo on death or equivalent, no matter how much they were carrying, as long as they weren't completely empty. The maximum you can pick up off a special brick is for is 1 for a shotgun, fusion rifle, or sniper rifle, or equivalent for other weapons. Scavenger mods add to this as normal, but will be evaluating their place in Crucible in the future. Players quickly found another way to execute the quick swap glitch, so we fixed another animation cancel. All right, so they're adjusting special ammo in the Crucible, which is a good move. Sound off in the comments. Let us know what you think about the special ammo nerf. Players will only drop 1 ammo, and I assume 1 additional if you have a scavenger mod. Archetypes. Season 15 fusion rifle rework had a lot of moving parts. Rapid fire precision and adaptive fusions came out of this different, but all quite strong. But high impact fusions are hurting. We've definitely seen all fusion rifle subfamilies occupy different roles and want to maintain the large differences in charge time to keep these distinct for now. So we're nudging damage up to make it easier for these to land kills at range in PvP, and we're bumping the PvE damage scaler. That said, we'll keep an eye on how they're doing and may adjust charge time down a smidge in a future release. Increase high impact fusion rifle damage per bolt from 62 to 64, so that's 2 extra damage per bolt. This doesn't seem like a lot, but it allows more rolls to cross bolts to kill thresholds. Increase high impact fusion rifle PvE damage bonus from 15% to 20%. We like that the crowd control capabilities of breach grenade launchers in PvE have taken off, but as it stands, there isn't a meaningful trade-off for the added utility that blinding or concussion grenades give you. And it's unreasonable that a way to really annoy other players in PvP can also one-shot them. Reduce blinding and concussion grenade damage by 25%. That's a good PvP change. I don't think the PvE community is going to love that. Let us know what you think about that in the comments. Rocket launcher subfamilies have lacked meaningful differences for a while now, and their free tracking precisions are flat out better. So we're punishing them further apart by adjusting damage. We may take a deeper look at rocket launchers later. I hate it in PvP. No, grenade launchers are probably the most annoying weapons to go up against in PvP. Damage adjustment by subfamily. Precision 0.95, high impact 1, adaptive 1.05, aggressive 1.05. We took a big swing at sniper rifle aim assist based on zoom and beyond light, and having seen this play out, are revisiting the tuning on the zoom-based aim assist scaling. Low zoom snipers got more of an aim assist reduction than they needed, and high zoom snipers are getting some pretty silly headshots right now. Reduced variance in aim assist scaling between low 35 and high 60 sniper rifles. Cone angle scaler increased by 25% on low zoom, reduced by 9% on high. Pulse rifles take slightly too long to kill red bar enemies in PvE. We're buffing their damage versus miners in 10%. By 10%. But if you want exotic pulse rifles to feel better at this, oh boy, keep reading. This aim assist modifier, this is going to make Cloud Strike a monster. They're buffing the aim assist on Cloud Strike, I think. Is Cloud Strike low zoom or high zoom? I don't know. I think it's low zoom. I think it's getting more aim assist. Is Cloud Strike getting more aim assist? Exotic weapons. Exotic primary weapons and trace rifles aren't sufficiently stronger than legendaries for them to be worth bringing into hard PvE content, particularly against miners. Note that this change applies to all exotics that use primary ammo and includes most secondary effects per triggered explosion. Increased damage versus miners in PvE by 40%. Chaperone is a terror in PvP, particularly with the nerf to pellet shotguns and the reduced frequency of grenade and melee abilities, and it outperforms some weapons that ought to be good counters to it, for example, sidearms and submachine guns. Reduce passive range buff from 2 meters to 0.5. Yes, thank you for nerfing Chaperone in PvP. Some of the kills with Chappy are just ridiculous. Just absolutely bonkers. Duality is in a similar place to Chaperone, but it's not quite as rangy. On the other hand, its exotic trait shipped with the constraint that it would wipe on reload to make it harder to chain. Having seen it in action for a while now, we don't think that limitation needs to be there. Reduce passive range buff in slug mode, i.e. when aiming down sights from 1.25 to 0.5, pellet mode is unaffected. The on Black Wings damage buff no longer clears on reload. That's cool. So you keep your damage buff even when you reload. Oh, TWAB, please tell me they're letting you stow it. TWAB is extremely strong as it is, but it currently demands complete commitment with no weapon switching. This constraint is a bit harsher than it needs to be, so we've loosened it without removing it entirely. Also, while the duration extension when damaging players did not actually function in PvP, it was so subtle that players kept reporting that it was bugged, so we bumped them up. Now reduces perk progress by half instead of clearing it on weapon stow. Increase Ravenous Beast duration, increases for damaging a player slightly. Nice. Oh, a TWAB buff. Are we going to be a TWAB main now? This is good. I can deal with that. I think that's a fair compromise. We'll have to see it play out. But I think that's a fair compromise for being able to swap weapons without feeling so penalized. Ruinous Effigy has been overdue for a look at its Beyond Light nerf, the nerf to damage dealt while guarding. So we're rolling that back. Note that the other part of that nerf was to the airborne standard melee attack, and this hasn't been touched. Increase the damage dealt by guarding with a transmutation sphere by 66%, 30% against player. Transmutation sphere multi-kills now count for orb generation. Armor mods, previously only kills with the beam would trigger this. Luminous stats just don't compare with other 140 RPM adaptive hand cannons, and its usage reflects that. So we're updating these alongside some of the legendary hand cannons that also used to be 150. Increased range from 44 to 59. Increased space stability from 46 to 56. Sorry, Thorn fans. Thorn is already strong and popular, and a similar buff would turn it into a monster. Agreed. Scepter. Initial implementation used super regeneration scalers, which had very weird effects and activities that also had scalers. So we've rebuilt it to turn off regeneration while active and have implemented a slower drain using a different method. Fix being able to activate or continue using empowered mode while suppress or stasis in case. Rebuilt the perk. Used to modify super charge rates, now freezes super recharge and deducts super directly, fixing several issues with activities that change charge rate and outliers for recharge based on intellect stat. That's a lot of words. They touched Scepter. I can't even think about rereading that to understand it. Super should now drain more slowly while empowered. There you go. That's the TLDR. Dead Man's Tail feels good to use on both mouse and keyboard and controller now, and we don't want to go back to it feeling unreliable, but it's far too good at spamming hipfire shots at long range as it stands. Reduce the Catalyst hipfire rate of fire from 150 to 130. Lorentz Driver and Arbalist remain fairly hard to counter in PvP. One common complaint is how easily they can shoot through flinch. We'll be keeping an eye on these moving forward and have another change planned, increase flinch receive. Forerunner's ammo economy was fairly conservative when we shipped 30th anniversary, but having seen how it's used in PvP, we believe it would benefit from gaining a little more ammo per special brick. Increased ammo picked up from a special ammo brick from 2 to 3 and from 4 to 5 with a scavenger mod. So Lorentz and Arbalist got a nerf, DMT got a nerf, and Forerunner got a buff. Interesting. Sound off about that. Legendary weapons. Several legendary weapons have out of band stats, either to their benefit, detriment, or a bit of both. When infusion caps were still around, this was okay because they'd cycle out eventually, but now the weapons remain viable in all activities indefinitely, and the solution is to adjust outliers to be in ban, as mentioned in the February 2021 State of the Game. Hand cannons, the ban for legendary 140 RPM hand cannon aim assist ends at 84, and this extreme should be for a hand cannon from a pinnacle activity like a raid or trials. But when 150s were converted to 140s, many of their stats were either too low or too high. We're adjusting the stats of these to be within the standard ranges, up or down, as follows: an overall buff in most cases. Dire Promise plus 4 range, 3 stability, minus 4 aim assist. Waking Vigil plus 6 range, plus 5 stability, minus 3 aim assist. Jack King Queen plus 3 range, plus 3 stability, minus 8 aim assist. Spare Rations plus 4 range, plus 4 stability, minus 9 aim assist. Fellwinter's Lie intrinsic perk makes it far too consistent and lethal compared to similar shotguns, and it's had plenty of time to shine. Plus 15% spread angle. Fellwinter's Lie nerf. Most of Ikelos SMG stats are wildly out of band for an aggressive SMG, but it does suffer from having a low zoom compared to other popular options. +1 zoom, -5 range, -7 stability, -8 handling, -5 aim assist. Wow, Ikelos got hit hard. Typically, we don't adjust base stats on specific weapons at all post ship, so we don't intend to do this regularly. That's good to know. Perks. We want players to be able to choose to build into hip firing more easily, so we're adjusting the hip fire grip perk to support this. Now increases damage, fall off, start, and end distance by 20%, except on shotgun, sniper rifle, and fusion rifle. Adagio often felt like it changed the weapon subfamily to the next slowest rate of fire, but worse, particularly when comparing damage fall off. Increased duration from 5 to 7 seconds, increased damage bonus, except on bows and fusion rifles, from 25 to 30%. Now adds +10 range stat, added a timer to the buff text to make it easier to tell when it's going to expire. Oh, Adagio got a big buff, so hang on to that Adagio roll that you've been deleting. Dual loader is okay on paper, but in practice, that reload speed is pretty painful. Reduce reload stat penalty from 50 to 35. Okay. Danger zone felt pretty risky to use in some cases, resulting in a lot of self-damage. Reduce self-damage scalar for grenade launchers. Combine with the other scalars, this ends up reducing self-damage from 1.25 to 0.75. Okay, so danger zone gets a passive buff there, making it more reliable without killing yourself. Tap the trigger is the meta breaking perk on a particular fusion rifle when stacked with other elements of this role. It makes fusion rifles much too stable. So much so that we stopped putting it on fusion rifles, and then Squidface sold it a few times. With this change, we believe it's still quite a strong perk without being overpowered, so it's likely to appear on future fusion rifles. Note, we did try reducing stability from 40 to 20, but in playtest the difference wasn't perceptible. On fusion rifles only, reduce stability bonus from 40 to 10, change max recoil angle scale from 0.5 to 0.875, change error angle scale from 0.9 to 0.975, unchanged on all other weapons. Where's the pulse? We're getting to it. Headseeker. Headseeker didn't work as intended on aggressive burst pulse rifles because the buff duration was too short. Sacred Providence is the only viable pulse rifle that benefits from this in Season 16. Although there is such a pulse in the season, it doesn't roll with Headseeker, but expect to see more in future seasons. Extended buff duration from 0.17 to 0.3 seconds. Let's talk about Eager Edge. It's a lot of fun to use, but it can be used to do some mind-blowing, environment-breaking things if used in particular ways while airborne. While the tuning below isn't meant to remove the fun factor, we have a fresh raid and other fun content coming with the Witch Queen and want to ensure we retain challenge behind our upcoming rewards. Breaking out of maps can be fun indeed, but can easily remove the prestige and value of a given item or experience. Reduce lunge distance benefit while airborne by 25%. Now caps maximum player airborne velocity to a fairly high value while active. Okay. A Eager Edge nerf. So this just means that they found ways that Eager Edge was breaking the new raid. So maybe there's a way to get out of the map in the new raid. Occasionally, we'll shelve perks because they're not working for some reason, too strong or too weak. This means we won't put them on weapons in the future unless we've changed the perk. In many cases, we'd rather put design work into new perks than old ones, but there's a whole perks section here. Anyway, these perks are shelved. Some have been shelved a while. Bottomless Grief and Celerity. Both were attempts to inject some uniqueness into Trials of Osiris and Nightfall, which we're now doing to Trials. Underdog, Shield Disorient, Air Assault. Okay. The near future. Season 17 will have a set of PvP-focused weapon changes, including new ways for players to build for flinch resistance, balanced tuning for primary weapons, looking at U-Pulse rifles, lightweights in particular, special weapon tuning, snapshot feeling mandatory on sniper rifles and PvP, other balance changes, another PvP special ammo economy change if needed, adjusting how zoom outliers, both low and high, affect the performance of a subset of weapons, i.e. the scope column shouldn't be the most important thing on a weapon. This could take various forms, but the intent is to bring both high and low outliers toward the average to the overall benefit of the weapon's archetype. We're also adjusting several much requested exotics along with legendary perks. Cheers to Proctor and the team for that massive info dump. We'll have a full roundup of patch notes on February 22nd when the Witch Queen goes live. Stay tuned. Woo! What a TWAB so far. Year of the Tiger. So we're covered what's coming to Destiny with the Witch Queen in Season 16 and beyond. What's going on right now? Well, we have a celebration of the Lunar New Year. Some of you may have already noticed, but Eververse has been filled with some wonderful new items. I did notice that today. So you can check that out. These items will be available through next Tuesday, February 8th. So snag them if they've caught your eye. We also have a few items from last year available for Bright Dust if you'd like to join in on the celebration. Prepare to launch a worm. This TWAB is long, but this train isn't stopping yet. Our Destiny player support team has important information for you. Okay, so here is some support stuff. Pre-launch downtime, Shattered Realm at the end. Shattered Realm seasonal activity has been updated. Okay, Nightfall catch-up node clarification. This past week, the next week in Destiny login message incorrectly indicated the Nightfall catch-up node has become active. I did have people asking me about that, so coming clean about that. Weapon cycling. The following weapons will be leaving the ritual rewards pool with the launch of Witch Queen. Trials of Igneous Hammer, Solar Scar, the Swarm, Shadow Price, Uzume, Hung Jury, Multimech, Time War Inspired, Guiding Sight, Steady Hand for Iron Banner and Nightfalls, respectively. Players should make sure to claim all engrams and other rewards before the new season begins. Any rewards not claimed from ritual vendors, Zavala, Shax, Drifter, and Saint 14 will be removed at the end of the season. Turn in your engrams. We have some known issues, and we have movie of the week. Happy Thursday, Guardians, from Sam. The days are flying by, but also taking forever on this road trip to the Witch Queen. So this week, we are staying short and sweet with our movie of the week winners. First up, we're sharing a precious celebration of the Chinese New Year, as well as then Saint acting well exactly as we would expect. So congratulations to Friendly Vex Hobgoblin for the happy Chinese New Year. We have a Twitter video.
Charlie, he doesn't look too good.
Oh,
Saint
can
has
I
had
get a
enough.
selfie with you, Mr. Frog?
Hey, no, hey, stop.
Whoa.
Let go of him, Mr. Frog.
Whoa. That escalated quickly. Hippie. Less than a month ago, you can feel the excitement in the air. And no, that's not just the 4 cups of coffee this morning. We've got some more art goodness from the community, this time with a Whittle, adorable wormy to celebrate one of our newest exotics, a cosplay that would make Crow both scared and intrigued, and another worm because, come on, that's just cool. Nice. Sad Woomy. Buenos dias, gentes cosplays. Ooh, look at the Petrovenge cosplay. Good job to Laura Sanchez. Very nice. Jorn, Witch Queen PvP in a nutshell. There you go. Well, you've made it once again. A mega TWAB has landed, and you've read every word of it, maybe almost every word. I know some of you skipped the outros. Between now and launch, we have a few more little things to cover in TWABs, but we aren't expecting anything as long as this edition. These next few weeks will be your opportunity to rest up before the launch of our next expansion. Get some sleep, eat well, maybe even soak in some sunlight if the weather permits. Of course, you're going to maintain a healthy lifestyle after February 22nd, right? There won't be any moments where you think, I'll do the dishes later, or hey, I guess I'll take the trash out next week while leveling up your brand new, freshly crafted weapons, right? On a final somber note, before we go, we'd like to take a moment to honor one of our moderators. We received tragic news over the weekend that Seraphim Crypto, one of our German community volunteers, passed away. Words are incredibly difficult here. Seraphim has been among the Destiny community since the start, pitching in to help anyone who needed an assist or simply sitting back and relaxing among our forums to pass the time. We'd met him in person on his own home turf when visiting Germany for Gamescom, and even had him come out to Seattle to help us with the community summit. Every exchange was positive, inspiring, and heartfelt. His love for this community was immeasurable. You could tell with every exchange how wonderful, unique, and passionate he was, and how much of an inspiration he could be, not only to us at Bungie, but to players of our worldwide community. Thank you for everything, Seraphim. You are loved, you are missed. We hope you're able to rest well, and we are sending our love to your family. Condolences to the family. Rest in peace. Thank you for including that, DMG. Much love. And that's it, Guardians. That's the TWAB. That's the TWAB. I think the exotic pulse discussion is coming like later. I took it to mean later in this TWAB as well, but apparently that didn't happen. So that's it for the TWAB. If you like the video, please like the video. I mean, if you sat through this whole thing and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. What are you doing? Until next time, peace out.